Hello, welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. Thank you for being here today. I appreciate your support and I appreciate you. Thank you so much for sharing these videos, for showing up, for subscribing, for being here. I'm really grateful for that because that means that everyone is getting the messages within these videos, which is important for self growth and self healing. It's so important. So, today's topic of discussion is keep moving forward. Never give up on yourself. And before I begin, I want to talk about losing hope because some people have been having some discussions with people about this channel and why I started it and about the healing process. And some people were talking about times in their life where they were losing hope. It is never okay to allow yourself to lose hope completely because without that, you can't heal and you can't grow. So I encourage people that to keep on moving forward. Even if you don't see any progress right away, it takes time. Don't give up because that means you're giving up hope on yourself and your healing. And that's never okay because what do you have if you don't have yourself? I had to learn that and I had to learn it the hard way. It wasn't easy. It's still not easy. I have my moments, believe me, people, but I deal with it differently now. I know there's certain things that I have to do and I give myself time to heal and to rest and then keep moving. And I am seeing the progress. And when I start to see that, I may reward myself with something like something I like to eat. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I love food. And, I'm still like trying to lose some weight here. But I do, as I see that I get things done that I wasn't getting done before, I reward myself with something. It doesn't necessarily all the time have to be food, but something that I like. If I see that um, particular blouse I want to buy, or, stop someplace and look at something new, or just sometimes we need to do something different. Get out of that routine of doing the same thing day in and day out. And once you get out of doing that, then it makes you feel better, even if it's for a little while. But you did something different, which was outside your comfort zone, and that's important too. But don't be so hard on yourself. Just keep moving forward. And I promise you, in time, you will see the results. It may be slow, but it's worth it. Never give up on yourself. Never give up, never give in when it comes to your healing. I want everyone to do this exercise, those who are listening. When you get up in the morning, even if you take 5 minutes or even a little less than 5 minutes, look in that mirror and tell yourself, I am worth it. Even if my day doesn't go as planned, I am worth it. I matter. Tell yourself that you matter and that you are worth it. No matter what it feels like around you, no matter what that grief is, because we're human, we're all human, and we all have flaws. None of us are perfect, and it's okay. It's okay to allow yourself to cry, to allow yourself to feel that pain. It doesn't make you weak or insignificant. That's not true. And anyone who says that is not being truthful because this is how there's an outlet for that pain. And if there's no outlet for that pain and you stay stagnated, you can't heal and you can't grow. So let yourself feel that. It's important. And I was scared to allow myself to feel that when I was going through the heavy periods of the grief in the beginning when losing all these people was difficult. But through therapy, I had to learn that it's okay because we all are human, we have faults. Never be ashamed of it. Sometimes, when I do something, it feels dumb or uncomfortable. I'll make a joke, laugh at myself, and keep it moving. I'm in that space where I can do that, but before I wasn't. But never lose hope, people. It's important. So Do positive affirmations, even if it's slow, to help yourself, even 5 minutes out of your day. It's important because it lifts you up. And if music is your thing, do that. That's my thing too. I do a playlist of music. And it doesn't have to be the same music, have a variety of playlists and just listen to that. Before I came on today, I listened to music for about 10 minutes before I jumped on here today because it helps me. It changes my mood, meaning it uplifts my mood, because I have my moments as well, especially at nighttime sometimes. But I do things to help myself get through it with the help of God and prayer and all those other things. Tell yourself that you're worth it, regardless of how you may feel at that particular moment. That's okay because you're going to have all types of feelings when you're going through grief, you know, because it's uncomfortable. However uncomfortable it may be, it's necessary to keep moving, never give up. Because when you give up, it's over with, people. So never do that. And one of the things I will suggest, which works for myself as well, try to limit your stress and keep your environment as positive as you can, especially when you're going through this grief. You don't need any more negativity or toxicity added to your table. So try to keep your environment as positive as you can. We're not, we cannot control everything, but not so much the control, but just trying to keep the environment that you are in as positive for yourself so that you don't have to have all this negativity to deal with. And that's what I had to do. And it was important. I had to find creative ways to do certain things to help myself. So let's talk about when I lost my dog, Rocky, because all those deaths during the shutdown happened. And then I lost my beloved pet, Rocky. He was a adult male pug, and he was like a ESA dog. For those who don't know what that means, emotional support animal. And I took him everywhere with me. He sat in a passenger seat, whether he wanted to go or not. I didn't care at times, but he was like my little buddy. And he he had a different kind of relationship with my son, but with me, he was so close too. And we did things together. And, I just try to remember those times with him, keep his memory alive, as well as my mom and friends that I lost. That's important as well. Never let their existence, be like, always keep that alive, always talk about them, the great times that you had. Rocky was one of a kind. He didn't think he was a dog. He actually thought he was human. There was a time I came home from work. I told my son, I'm originally from New York, and growing up, I lived in upstate New York for 17 years. I raised my son there. He went to school there after leaving New York City. So when we got Rocky, my son would get home from school on the school bus first. I would call him and tell him, I'm not cooking dinner tonight. There's a place called Texas Roadhouse. And I went there and got dinner for my son and myself. I don't remember what I got him, but I got myself some ribs and some other stuff. And believe me, people, I was starving because I had worked all day. And I think I may have had coffee and a bagel or something all day. So when I got home, I was like hungry, and I opened the plate to eat, and a piece of rib fell, and I went to catch it. But before I could catch it, you know what happened? Rocky had it in his mouth. And I was so mad. I was pulling the rib, and he was fighting me. I mean, growling and everything else. So I'm like, okay, my son runs out of the room. What's going on? And I said, nothing, because he had the sauce all over his mouth. Just let him have it, And then I ate everything else on the plate. There was other pieces of rib, but it was funny. And he thought he was human. One time I remember coming home, and he had did something. He chewed up something or did something spitefully because I was gone a little bit too long. And I never locked him up or anything. I would, have breaks in between, come home and take him out and then go back to work. But on this particular day, he did something, and I was like really upset, and I was screaming at him, oh, why did you do this? Blah, blah. And I think I went a little bit on too much. And he stood on his hind legs and he started barking at me like he was arguing back. And I just fell on the floor and started laughing. I thought it was the most humorous, humorous thing I ever saw. You know, a dog standing up trying to argue with me. But that's the kind of relationship I have with him. I look forward to spending time with him, taking him out. You know, I used to like treat him like he was my kid, sit down on the floor, read stories to him, tell him stories. My son thought it was a little nutty, but you know, people who are pet owners and love your pets, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? So I had that kind of bond with him. And when he passed away, it was hard because he got arthritis in his hind legs. And he was coming up the stairs after I took him out to use the bathroom. And his front paw too, I think it was his left paw, and he missed the step. He touched the step and slid and fell down the steps. And I grabbed him. He had nerve damage. I did everything to save this dog. Very hard to talk about, but I did acupuncture, had to take him to the hospital. I did everything. And 2 weeks later, he had to be put down. It was the most difficult thing I had to do in my life. I couldn't do it. So what I did is call who was the pastor at my church at that time. I called her and said, listen, can you help me out here? And she met me at the church, and um, he was in a car with me, and then he just limped over because the pain was too much. He was still alive. And when she got there, I was holding him and I said, I don't know if I can do this. And she went inside with me. And uh, when they hooked him up with the IV and brought him out for me to say my goodbyes, felt like the worst day of my life. If any of you have gone through that, you know what that feels like. And so he had a collar on and everything. And I just kissed him and I said, I can't watch this. I can't watch them do this. I started to feel bad that I had allowed this to happen, but he was in so much pain. He couldn't walk and he would use the bathroom on the floor, and I had to put a diaper on him. It was just horrific. And the acupuncture would work. It seemed like for a day or so, and then he'll go limp again, like with his legs, and it was just not working. And so I said to the pastor, I said, I can't do this. And so I said, when it's over and done, bring me his collar because I wanted to keep that. And she came out. Oh my God, people. Okay, okay. When she came out with the collar and it had hair on it and she brought it was the worst feeling I've ever had in my life, that I had to drive back home without my Rocky, my buddy. And very difficult, people. So, and by the time he passed away, I had lost, like, it was like 9 people, and then one more person after he passed away, and that was difficult. And then I had his ashes because I wanted to keep them. And when they sent that to me, I just fell apart. I couldn't. I fell apart. And then the paw. You have the paw print, and it was just really, really hard. And animal lovers who've gone through this, you know what this feels like. And so, I try to keep his memory alive. It was very difficult. I talked about this in therapy, and it just hard. In the future, I would like to get another dog, another pug, probably a puppy, but I'm just want to be sure that I'm okay to do that because dogs are like, it's like I understand why they say emotional support animal because they really help us when we're going through some difficult things. They're there, no matter what. And they love us. They love us so much. Rocky brought a lot of joy. Sometimes I think my son was really jealous of the dog and instead of embracing him. But, he got used to him and they had a different kind of bond than I had with him. But in in any event, it was so hard because I felt that void, and it was huge because I had him. I had Rocky for about 7 years, and it was just hard. He's not there. I was forgetting Rocky, and then I said, oh my God, and I don't want to go through that. It's just, but I wanted to tell this story because for other people who maybe their loss is a pet as well as a loved one, a pet is a loved one as well, but you're not alone in this. A lot of people understand who are pet lovers, and just like I always say in my videos, do the work to help yourself to get through it. And therapy is, wherever you live, what state you're from, please connect with a therapist. I'm not a therapist or certified. I'm just sharing information on what helped me to get through these difficult times, these 9 to 10 deaths, and along with losing my pet. It's been really difficult. 2020, I don't want to see that year again. I don't, it's just in 2021, it was hard. But, what doesn't take you out will make you stronger, and, doing the work to heal. So find a therapist in the area where you live and connect with one. Please get involved with bereavement groups because you're going to hear stories from other people who've gone through certain situations. They're going to give information as well, how they got through it as well. That's important. And why I talk about this and say this all the time, because there was a man, I'm not going to give too many details. I don't, when I talk about people, I don't give a lot of details, but I want to share enough to help somebody here. Um, he used to encourage me a lot, older guy, and we used to talk a lot. And he used to just encourage me, how you feeling today, Lisa? And he would tell me stories about what got him through things. This is before my losses, just in general. Very kind, very understanding man. And I found out that he had committed suicide. And I'm like, no, he didn't. No, it's not true. And it was true because he was going through something very painful, and he's gone. And that was the end of, that's how, when I talk about the 9 to 10 deaths, that's how it ended, you know, death number 10 there. And I'm like, this is too much. And this is why I do this channel, because there are people out there, and you may not know what people are going through because a lot of people are not vocal like myself. People don't want to show that side of them. So they may be going through something and they may not be talking about it. They may be privately going through something, excuse me, people. They may be privately going through something, and they might be in deep depression, and you may not know about it, and they may be suicidal or thinking of that. And this is why this channel is so important, and why I developed this channel, and I show up and I talk to people because I know how that feels. When I went through all this, instead of more of suicidal, it wasn't like that. I was angry at God for a long time. If anyone ever saw Forrest Gump, and they saw when the lieutenant was on the boat and he was fighting and arguing and screaming at God, that's where I was in 2020. And part of 2021, when I lost my dog, I was angry. I was all of this, and I was just, it was overwhelming. But God has brought me to a place of peace and understanding now. And it didn't happen overnight. We're in 2023, almost 2024. And I still have my moments, but not like that. That was the worst end of it. And it's like the storm is over and I have to get through what I need to get through. Remember, people, that things will get better, but you have to heal those areas in your life. You never get over losing that loved one. You're going to always feel that void, whether it's a person or your pet. It's a void, it's a loss. But you can keep their memory alive by talking about them, like I just shared about my relationship with Rocky and about this person who passed away. Keep your loved one memories alive. Do not let it sit on a shelf somewhere. Always talk about them, even with your therapist. If you have a good friend and they don't know what to say to you, what I would do in a situation is just listen to someone. Because there was someone I visited who had lost her husband, and all I did is sit and listen. And she would tell me about him. She had been married for so long, and I just listened. Sometimes people just need you to be there to hear them, and because we can't help bring anyone back, but we can be there when people need us. That's so important to me. That's priceless, to have someone in my corner who could just listen, you know. And that's priceless to me, and that's important. So this is why I always talk about connecting with a therapist, so that that's your outlet, because the pain has to have an outlet. That's important. And for me, what I had to do is take that pain and turn that pain into a purpose, turn that purpose into power, and not let it do me in, because our mental and physical health is everything to people. Without that, we can't do anything for ourselves and no one else. And also self love. Once you start to love on yourself, you start to see above you start to see, the cloud is removed. You start to see, you're not going to let everyone do whatever they want to you. And what I had to do is just remove toxicity from my life completely, no matter what I had to do, because my mental health and physical health is everything. And for you as well, your physical and mental health is everything. Do not lose hope. Please get connected with a therapist and a bereavement group. And if you have friends who are going to listen to you, just, that's important. Thank you for being here. Please keep sharing these videos, because somebody, a few somebodies need to hear this message, because they're going through deep depression. And we never want anyone to get to the point of being suicidal. That's never okay, people. So hit that subscribe button and keep sharing. And I know you're sharing the videos because I'm getting comments from people about how much these videos are helping them in their life. So thank you for being here today. This is Lisa, spreading love and light and encouraging everyone to keep moving forward. I will be back again in a day or so with a new message. And stay uplifted. Thank you. Keep your environment positive. Bye for now.